How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another Skyrim video. Today, we're going to be talking about whether or not you should kill Erandur, the Dark Elf Priest of Mara, in the quest Waking Nightmare. So if you guys haven't played this quest yet, and you don't want to get spoiled, definitely do not watch this video as there's going to be spoilers for that quest, but if you don't really care about that, then you can keep watching. So for those of you who don't know, when you first show up to Dawnstar in a new playthrough, everybody's going to be talking about the issues with nightmares in the town. Everybody can't sleep, everyone's having nightmares, and it's plaguing Dawnstar, like, completely. And eventually it will lead you to the inn, where there's a priest of Mara named Erandur trying to calm down a bunch of the citizens, telling them it's going to be okay, Mara's going to make everything fine again. If you talk to him, he's going to tell you about the tower on top of the hill, and he's going to take you to it basically, and you're going to learn that it is a tower to the Daedric god Nermina. Now, Nermina pretty much just steals people's dreams and memories and leeches off their brains and shit. And as you go through the dungeon, you're basically going to find out that Erandur actually lied to you. He's not actually a priest of Mara at all, like not even that close. Well, he is actually a priest of Mara now. He repented, but before that, he was actually a priest of Nermina. And when the tower got sieged by a bunch of orcs, he put everybody in the tower to sleep to prevent the orcs from, destroying the Skull of Corruption, which is the Nermina's like main Daedric artifact. But instead of going to sleep with them himself, he basically ran away and became a priest of Mara to repent for his sins and everything. Now, when you get to the end of the dungeon, you're going to find his ex-comrades and you're going to have a big boss fight with them and it's epic as fuck. But you pretty much have a dilemma. Erandur is going to start trying to destroy the Skull of Corruption. However, Nermina is going to talk to you, telling you that you should kill him and take the Skull of Corruption for yourself. And this is where you have the dilemma. What actually is the best choice? Should you kill Erandur and take the Skull of Corruption, or should you let him destroy it and allow Nermina to continue fucking with people's dreams? Now let's talk about it from both sides of the coin. So what happens if you don't kill Erandur and you let him destroy the Skull of Corruption? Well, obviously, you don't get the Skull of Corruption, and you complete the quest with what sort of feels like the right ending, kind of. And basically, Erandur basically spend the rest of his time in Dawnstar, as far as I know. And if you want to, you can make him a follower. Now, personally, I think he's a pretty good one, because he does have good magic, and if you give him a nice, like, orcish mace, or like a Daedric mace even, he can be a pretty strong spell sword. You could even give him like really good armor or really good robes if that's your cup of tea. Now, Erandur as a follower is, he's above average. I wouldn't say he's amazing, because there's a lot of really good followers that you can get. Like, you can get, I was gonna say Lydia. Lydia is like dead average. You could get someone like Serana or Farkas or Vilkas. Those three are like really, really good. However, Erandur is he's kind of like in the top 40%, you know? He's not average, because that's like average is kind of like Lydia. Like all of the house carls and all of the like the ones that you can buy, the mercenaries, those ones are like average. But he's above that, kind of. So I would say if you're pretty early on in the game and you want a powerful follower, and you don't want to have some generic one like Lydia, then he's definitely a good follower to have. I wouldn't say he's bad in any way. He's just not really good. Now, what happens if you do choose to kill Erandur? Basically, you do get granted the Skull of Corruption. Now, this is a staff which does 20 damage to any enemy that you use it on. However, if you cast it on somebody who's asleep, you will basically suck up their dreams, and your staff will be boosted to 50 points of damage. However, you kind of have to keep refilling it, otherwise it will go back down to 20 damage, so you do have to, after every time you like complete a dungeon, and you come back to sell your loot, you pretty much have to break into someone's home every time, and like, fuck with their dreams and stuff. So it's not that good, especially 20 damage, bro. It's not that good. If you're like a warrior class or an archer class, I would never really say that this staff is good enough to use over my main weapons. Even if you're a mage, I would say that this is not necessarily a good weapon to use, because if you're a mage, you don't get destruction XP by using staves, right? It's not benefiting you in any way. You're not progressing. So even if you're a mage, I would only ever use staves in situations where I'm fighting like a shock mage who basically sapped all of my magicka. So I would never really use the staff normally anyways. Like, staves are just kind of not viable weapons at all, especially for only 20 damage. I mean, you could find like a Hagraven staff. Like Hagravens usually have like these staves that do like fireball effects, or like Forsworn people will have those staves, or even Falmer will have pretty powerful staves. And even then, I don't want to use them very much. Even if you boost it to doing 50 damage, I would say it's mostly a support weapon. It's something you kind of do just for an extra kick, you know, an extra hard boss or an extra hard enemy. You would use it for a little bit of an extra kick, you know, an ace in the hole, basically. So if we're talking about it from a purely gameplay perspective, I would say that getting like the Skull of Corruption might be slightly better. I mean, I would say it's pretty much 50-50. If we're talking from a just gameplay perspective, the benefit from Erandur as a follower and the benefit from the Skull of Corruption, it's about the same. It's about 50-50 depending on what playstyle you're going with. Now, from a completionist perspective, having the unique Daedric artifact is badass. I mean, I personally, I make it a point of interest to collect every Daedric artifact I can, so I usually go with it, as well as the fact that morally, now here we go for the moral part of the question, does Erandur deserve to die? Now, he was a priest of Nermina, you know, causing tons of suffering to innocent people just for the benefit of his Daedric, you know, god. He was causing all kinds of nightmares, all kinds of, like, brain matter stealing, pretty much. And he caused all of this havoc. And even if he didn't directly do it, he contributed to an organization that did do it. And he contributed significantly. He was a high up in the Nermina ranks. Now, he did repent, and he spent an unknown amount of time as a priest of Mara. So I don't really know if he spent enough time really making up for it. And even the deeper question is, can you necessarily make up for it? You know, it's not like by doing a million good things, it's not like the 100 bad things you did go away. Like, they still are there. Like, yeah, I guess technically doing a million good things definitely outweighs doing 100 bad things. But at the same time, I don't know, like, you still have to have the consequences of your actions. You can't just be like, oh, I'm a good man now. All of the bad things I did don't matter. So it depends, really. It depends on what you think. Because he is a dark elf, and dark elves have a lifespan in the hundreds of years. So that is a lot of time that he can do good by being a priest of Mara if you let him live. However, me personally, I believe that his actions deserve consequences. For the atrocities he did as a priest of Nermina, he does deserve to die, I believe. And as well as the fact that getting the Skull of Corruption, it's a nice completionist thing. Now, there is the case to make, though, that if he didn't repent, then kind of the act of repenting and taking you to destroying the Skull of Corruption, in a way, it sort of does justify him not dying. Because, like, if it wasn't for him coming back, then, you know, Nermina would have still done all of the atrocities. So, not only is he doing good as a priest of Mara, but he's also preventing bad by actively destroying the Skull of Corruption. So, but then again, if you take the Skull of Corruption and you put it in your house for safekeeping, then you can ensure that it's not going to be used maliciously, and you already killed all of the priests of Nermina. You already destroyed the base. So it's like, I don't know. I think if you kill him, he does deserve to die for his actions, and if you kill him and you take the Skull of Corruption and you specifically hide it away, then yeah, you can ensure that no more harm will be done, at least not for a while, right? So, me personally, I think you should kill Erandur. However, please let me know in the comments, because I feel like this is a 50-50 question. Like, there is not really an objectively clear right answer. This is a pretty 50-50 topic. So please give me your opinion in the comments, and we can have a discussion about it. But until then, I'll see you guys next time. Stay awesome as always, and peace out.